Hi, my name is Tim and I'm 25. And I'm afraid of beautiful women. I'm afraid to meet them. I'm afraid to look at them. I'm even afraid to talk to a girl on the phone if I know that she's beautiful. I can't even look at their body, for example, their lips or their eyes. I'm shivering. I may have a panic attack or a severe blood pressure spike. I might lose my coordination or, in the worst case scenario, I might faint. This is called venistrophobia, also known as calagenophobia, not to be confused with gynophobia, of fear of any women at all. I'm only afraid of exceptionally beautiful women. You'll say it's not normal. Just go to a psychologist. Maybe this will solve your problems. You're probably not sure of yourself because you're not handsome. And here's your guess is totally wrong. I'm the most handsome guy in my city. And I have great looks like professional male models from popular magazine covers. As for the psychologist's advice, I did have a psychologist, Mr. Henderson, but he retired and was replaced by Miss Clayton. So make a guess. What does she look like? She's damn beautiful. Recently, I started having problems with my teeth. The only dentist in my town is Mrs. White, and she's beauty too. You may say, why don't you move to a bigger city? There are more dentists there. But the problem is, there are even more beautiful women in a big city. Now I live in a suburb of Santa Barbara, in the town of Summerland. Come to the Burrito Boy Cafeteria on the Green Avenue any day after 6 p.m., and you will see a very handsome guy surrounded by ugly girls. This guy is your humble servant Tim. This phobia brings me a lot of trouble. For example, you like to go to the movies and decide to go to watch a horror movie. So you come in, sit down comfortably in a movie chair, and then next to you see an attractive brunette beauty. In my case, at this moment, I would feel desperately dizzy, my hands feel numb, and I might even faint. Then I would start screaming loudly in panic, and I would run away out of the movie hall and would rush away without looking back. On my way out, I see a mother and her son looking at me in total astonishment, and they would probably think this movie is so scary with a 16+ rating, and they would probably leave home instead. But no, this is just your humble servant in his world full of nightmares. Another scary nightmare for me are these romantic movies about love with beautiful actresses or gorgeous fashion shows. I've run away from my first date a million times when I found out that my date is extremely beautiful. When I see a beautiful girl, my knees immediately start shaking and I feel a lump in my throat. I would use any possible pretext to run away from my beautiful date. One time, I said I would go to the bathroom and then I just jumped out of the window or secretly went out through the back door. Another time, I pretended that I forgot my gift to her in my car, went out, got into the car, and immediately drove away. At one date, I behaved like a jerk. I was rude to the girl to force her to stand up and leave. At another date, I would criticize the girl's looks. And many girls cannot stand it when you criticize their appearance. At another date, I got into a fight with a waiter, and I behaved like a madman, and I was glad that I was taken to the police station afterwards. Fortunately, there were never any beautiful girls in the police station. Since then, I have never been on a single blind date in my life. The only time in the year when I feel calm and relaxed and I can go to big cities is the time of Halloween, when everyone wears costumes and masks. This is how I live with my phobia. But this was not always like this. I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California. Since I was a kid, I had great looks and grew up extremely attractive, thanks to my parents and my family. All the girls in my class had a crush on me. I was 10 years old then. Once an older girl who was 3 years older than me chatted me up. It felt fantastic and unreal. She said I was very cute and suggested that we go for a walk together. I was over the moon. She was one of the most beautiful girls in school. And of course, I fell in love with her. Her name was Betty Sanders. So one day after school, she took me to go for a walk with her friends. They were all high school boys. So they tell me, "Do you want to be cool and hang out with the best folks in our school?" "Yes, of course," I said. "Then come on with us," they said. We went to school and for some reason stopped near the teacher's room. Then one of the guys broke the door with the lockpick and we went inside. "We shouldn't do it," I said, "or we will have serious problems." They looked down at me and said that I was a coward and a chicken. They were testing on me to see if I can do it. Then they looked around, searched for their midterms exam tests, and replaced them with the new ones. Then we heard someone approaching the teacher's room. One of the guys gave me one of the tests, and they both climbed out of the window, jumped away, and disappeared. I was panic-stricken. I literally froze and didn't know what to do. The door opened, and the director came in. He caught me standing right there. After that, I was kicked out of school, and then they transferred me to another school. But the worst part of this whole story is that my sweetheart Betty Sanders and her friends had arranged all this just to set me up. Betty went to the school principal and told him that a boy from the primary school was trying to open the teacher's room. I also found out that one of Betty's friends was her boyfriend. She was just manipulating me. This accident further led me to my new phobia towards pretty girls and women. A few years later, I got into another, much more sensitive case. My parents got divorced. My father left my mother for a beautiful young girlfriend, and it ruined our lives. My mother was a housewife all her life, and my father earned all the money. As a result of the divorce, we were left without any money. We had to move away from our established neighborhood, and I had to go to a nearby public school because we couldn't afford a private school anymore. These painful changes further led to my distrust for beautiful women. When I was 16, I started working part-time to earn some money. I was a newspaper boy, I mowed lawns, I was a dishwasher, and I did odd jobs. I even participated in the movie Screen Extras to earn some money. Once, one of the Hollywood producers put an eye on me, and he offered me a supporting role in a teen movie. But I turned out to be so handsome and charismatic that I got the leading role. After the film was released, I immediately became famous and super popular. All top advertising agencies wanted to sign promo contracts with me. The most beautiful girls from all over the state were chasing me. I could not get away from them, but I was not happy about it all, and I had strong panic again. As you know, I do not trust beautiful women. But now, when they were always around me and following my every step, I even had to break up with my ex-girlfriend. She got really tired of putting up with my being always surrounded by beautiful women. She got an inferiority complex as she compared herself to them. After this breakup, I was alone for a long time. I didn't do any more movies either, because there were always models all over the place, and I did all I could to stay away from beautiful women. But one day, I met Penelope. She was a very beautiful Latin American woman who came from Mexico. My heart jumped. I lost my head and forgot all about my fears with her. I felt so comfortable. We were such a beautiful couple. And amazingly, at this point, it was like I was finally relieved, as if my phobia was gone forever. I no longer felt uncomfortable in the company of beautiful girls. I just did not care about them. I loved Penelope. I have never met such a kind and pure-hearted girl before. She was like a sweet angel. What a mistake it was. It was all wrong. One day, Penelope and I had an accident that made my phobia for beautiful women come back again. As a result of our happy relationship, I started traveling again, and I was no longer afraid of big cities. Once she and I rented a house on the beach. We were staying near some small Mexican town and enjoyed beautiful nature and the ocean. We were eating delicious fish caught by a local fisherman. It was an exceptional and happy day. At night, Penelope woke me up. She was frightened. She said that there were some people walking in the street. They spoke Spanish and they sounded aggressive. I told her not to worry, that we'd figure something out. Suddenly, a couple of criminals burst into our house. They had automatic weapons in their hands. They were aggressive and they were shouting in Spanish. They tied us up, put bags on our heads, and drove us away. On the way, Penelope told me not to panic or they would kill us. She said when she was a child, her grandmother told her horror stories about the Mexican criminal cartels and how local criminals took Americans as hostages and demanded a big ransom from their families. They were driving us for several hours, and I had no idea where we were going. I was completely lost. They took us to some rural village and then separated us. They locked us up in separate cells. Every day, one of the criminals came to my cell and told me in broken English that if my family didn't pay a ransom of $500,000, they would kill Penelope. I kept telling them my family didn't have that much money. Maybe my father did, but he left us a long time ago and never came back to us. And my mother did not have any money at all. But this criminal kept saying that I was lying, that he had seen me on the posters of a famous blockbuster, and that popular actors like me had a lot of money. I shouted that it was a mistake, that I hadn't been in the movies for a long time. Then a scary man dressed in black would come into my cell and would torture me. He would make me starve and then show me food to make me suffer, but didn't give me anything to eat for days and days. They also kept me thirsty. They didn't give me water to drink, but instead showed me the water to make me suffer even more and poured it in my face. This torture went on, day after day for almost several weeks. Finally, the man with broken English gave up and decided they would not get anything from me. His partner in crime, who spoke Spanish, said, "This guy is either an idiot or he really does not have any money." And then the one who tortured me said, "You're right, Dad. It's completely worthless." And I was stupefied. It was Penelope's painfully familiar voice. Then the one with the mask took off his mask, and I saw Penelope, the love of my life. I was heartbroken to find out the truth. She was only dating me to get hold of my money later. Finally, they decided to kill me. They took me to the ocean, but then suddenly I saw a ship with an American flag in the distance, and this was my only way to escape. I broke free of the ropes they tied me with, and I ran away towards the ship. The criminals were shouting and running after me. The ship crew saw us and made a fire to stop us. It turned out it was to be a Coast Guard ship scouring the coastline and chasing drug dealers. The criminals got scared and immediately ran away. The ship reached the shore and took me on board. A hard-faced American in a uniform said I was extremely lucky I was still alive. So I returned home to Los Angeles, but soon I moved to the suburbs of Santa Barbara. Penelope's betrayal destroyed all my faith in beautiful women, and I got my phobia back, and it's now overwhelming. In addition, I got a new phobia, spectrophobia. I am now afraid to look in the mirror because my face is now all scarred from all of my tortures and hardships. After all I went through, I can now only date ugly or just ordinary girls. Now you know all about me. Do you think I still have a chance to not be afraid of beautiful women? Yes or no? What do you think about my story? Please write in the comments and like and subscribe to the channel if you like the story.